Welcome to Scale Her Up, the Female Entrepreneurs Show with me, Brenda Hector. I'm a business growth specialist helping business owners to develop themselves and grow their businesses so they can achieve their goals and enjoy the lifestyle they dream of. I'm also on a mission to revolutionise the entrepreneurial landscape for women in business. In every podcast episode, I interview someone who has an inspiring story or some great advice for women aiming to start or scale their businesses. If you're new to the show, take a moment to subscribe and please check out the previous ones after listening to this. We've got an awesome community on Facebook. Just search for Scale Her Up and join in. So I'm absolutely delighted today to have Anne-Lise Kadri on the Scale Her Up podcast. Welcome, Anna.
Thank you so much for inviting me, Brenda. I'm very excited about it.
It's really great to have you here. What we usually start with is a bit of a background to you, how you came to business, what your story as a business owner. So yeah, just give us a bit of an introduction to what you do and how you got there.
Well, I guess you could say I'm a very late comer to being a business owner and being a businesswoman in my own right. My history, as it were, is really I've been in teaching, in education for all of my adult life. So went straight into teaching from uni. Loved it. It took me around the world. I taught, moved out to Dubai in 2000, taught out there for 11 years, thoroughly loved it, had all my family out there, and then decided it was time to come back to the UK, continued teaching in the UK, and again, still absolutely adoring it. And then in 2018, I just started getting twitchy. I just started wondering what else is out there. Been a teacher my whole life. It was something everyone always says when you're a teacher, they almost think that's you pigeonholed. And I just decided I've got 3 teenage boys at home. They started to need me more than when they were 8, 9, 10-year-olds needing food on the table, a bit of a wash every now and then and put to bed. You've got the mental stresses that teenagers go through. And I realized I was giving everything to everyone else's children. And it was important for me to make time for my own. So in 2018, I took an incredibly brave, I guess you could say, or crazy leap and left having the safe umbrella of an employer, a safe monthly wage, took all that away and decided to find out what else was in my passion, what I love doing. I'm extremely fortunate that my husband is very, very supportive and was just like, Anna, you do this. You've done this your whole life. Whatever you want, I'll back you on it. And I said, but what if it doesn't work? What if I don't know what I want to do? What if I never find what's inside me? And he said, you will, but just go for it. So I didn't do anything for 6 months, literally just unwound because I've been working crazy, silly hours as a teacher, and then decided to train myself and take some qualifications in coaching because I thought coaching would be what I wanted to do because I loved communicating and talking to people and mentoring. So got myself a diploma in personal performance and then decided to do another diploma in NLP, which is neuro-linguistic programming, for those who don't know it, which is I love it. It's the how and why we say and do the things we do. It's connecting up your unconscious with your conscious mind and it's fascinating. So did that. And then I thought on the side, I'll just do a little bit of voiceover. Yeah, that will tick my creative box. I've always loved doing Amdram. I'll just do a bit of voiceover because at my age, no one wants to see me, on the telly. So I'll train myself up in that as well. And then as usual, life throws you a curveball. And I suddenly discovered that I was really enjoying doing this voiceover work. I was enjoying learning the technical aspects and the coaching kind of took a sideline. So literally a year ago today, it was January, February last year, I decided to launch my own business as a voiceover artist. So I launched my company, Voices for Impact. And if you like, went solo. And oh my God, it's been a learning curve. I've never had to run my own business. I've never had to create an invoice. I've never had to do networking. I didn't know how to go about any of these things. And you just learn. It's incredible. You just learn as you go. And so that's where I am. So I'm now the proud owner of my own company and do that. And the funny thing is the coaching has come back into play because one day someone turned around to me and said, well, you're a voiceover artist. Anna, I don't suppose you do voice coaching, do you? And I said, what do you mean? And they said, well, I hate giving my my pitches every week. I get so nervous and I never know what to say and I don't think I come across well. And this light bulb went on and I suddenly thought, oh my God, Anna, it was staring at you the whole time. I didn't think the two careers that I'd chosen to explore would ever overlap. And they do. Of course they do. So now, yes, I'm a voiceover artist, but I use my voiceover, my teaching, my coaching to help other people improve their presentation and performance skills. So I do voice coaching now as well. And I even bring in a bit of NLP when people are suffering from nerves and things to help them with the confidence. So it's amazing how life has its path for you, and things which may not make sense at the time or you cut, they all slot in. Everything's there for a purpose, I feel. And that's me in a nutshell, Brenda.
Fantastic story. I've made some wee notes, and we're gonna go back, if that's okay, and talk about some of these things. You left employment, and thanks to the support of your husband, it's enabled you to get to where you are today. If you think about the listeners who are maybe thinking about doing something or are on the journey as a business owner themselves, for me also, having my husband there to, bankroll, not at least, and support with the kids and the household. How important is it, do you think, to have someone on board with you?
I think it is huge. It's huge. Yes, financially, he's helped me a hell of a lot. And I found it very hard from contributing every month to contributing zero. That really didn't sit well with me. I felt guilty if I wanted to go shopping or buying anything. He never once made me feel like that. And he was always like, no, you've done this your whole life. You've contributed your whole life. You've brought up the children. You've done X, Y, and Z. So that side of it was very important because it helped me get over a massive phobia about the finances of setting up your own business. But more than that is you hit so many stumbling blocks as you're going along and so many potential barriers that defeat you. And it could be very easy to lose your confidence along the way and say, no, it's just not working. Why, I've reached out to 10 people. Why haven't any of them got back to me? And that sort of thing. And to have that support of, you can do this, Anna. I think you're amazing at what you do. I know you can do it. And just having that voice coming back from others to speak to you and to give you that boost, it's huge. And he's kept me going. He's absolutely, I've overheard him, bless him. If we've been at a party, he doesn't realize I've got eyes and ears in the back of my head. And I'd hear him talking to someone. And the way he spoke about me, even when he didn't realize I was listening, saying, oh, I can't believe it. Yeah, Anna changed her career at the age of 44, 45. She just decided to go for it. And I'm so proud of what she's doing. And that was incredible to hear someone say that. And it definitely keeps you going through the low points, which you're bound to have as you set up.
Absolutely. You mentioned that there was a time when your kids were needing you. You wanted to focus on them. I did the same. I started my business at the age of 44 and 3/4. Do you wish you'd done it sooner?
I don't know, because the wonderful thing is they need you more mentally, but they don't need you as much physically.
Yeah.
And I think had I tried to do it sooner, I'd have probably been juggling just as many balls, but still getting them to football or doing this or doing that and rugby. And I think it was a good time to do it, because they wanted me to pull away from them physically. They wanted to be independent. So that gave me a little bit more time to think about me and what I wanted to do. But they needed me there. They needed me there maybe more in the evenings, or me just being there. I had to be more present mentally. I wanted to be able to catch things that they said that could indicate they may be worrying about something. Or I didn't want to be constantly thinking about, oh, I've got to get the planning done for tomorrow, and I've got to get that assessment done for the children in the class, and missing signs that my boys were needing me. And I think it just gave me a little bit more time to mental space to be there to look after them. And I think for me, that was what was crucial. So I don't think it would have necessarily worked. Had I tried earlier, I think I'd have been too frantic. And I think the good thing about doing it then was I could organise my day around them. So they didn't need me anymore at 3:30 to go and pick them up. So I could do work. I was so used to, as a teacher, doing a timetable from 8 in the morning. I was busy until X, whatever time. it was a real novelty. And I loved the fact that I could organize my day as I wanted to. I could do my work, do housework if I needed, do exercise for me, then sort the boys. And that to me was the biggest shift, was organizing my time.
There's a freedom in being your own boss that you didn't have as a teacher. Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, it's lovely.
It is, isn't it? Yeah. Now, you mentioned when we were talking about your husband, you mentioned there a phobia of the finances of starting your own business. Now, there are lots of people, myself included, who are not comfortable, haven't had to do such a thing before, you know? So how did you get over that phobia?
It's hard. I think I had to get used to the fact that I was starting from scratch, and that my dad's an accountant, and he was great, because he said to me, Anna, I don't want you to expect that you're going to make a profit for the first 3 years. You've got to realize that it takes 2 to 3 years to build a business, and you won't be breaking even till then. And I sort of said to Dad, I'd wrongly thought, actually, I thought, well, I'm doing all right, because this month I made £500. So no, that's good, because I haven't had to buy much equipment. And so surely that's profit. But as he pointed out, he says, yes, but Tarek, we've been paying you a monthly salary of £1,000. We were paying the absolute minimum. We've been paying you a salary each month to get by. So you are still effectively in debt. And I think that was a big shock for me to realize that I had zero income coming in, or whatever income was still, supplementing the fact that I may not have been making much, but it was going straight back into bills and the housekeeping. I think I was lucky that my husband's wage, that we were able to just use that, and that I could drop to zero. And we had to budget, we had to pull our belts in a bit, but we readjusted things so that we still were able to manage. I think it must be extremely hard if you are a single person doing that. Then I can, and starting up your own business, that's a different kettle of fish, because you are the sole provider for your house. I was in the fortunate position of not being the sole provider for my house. So I was able to lean very heavily on Tarek financially. I'm over it now, definitely. I still don't earn, my business is still very young and it's still growing. I now realize that it's not about financial contributions. And as Tarek says to me, I contribute in so many ways that don't get paid, that I realize that in a way that is your payment. And so I've never felt guilty. We've always had a joint account. Everything's always come out of the same one. I've never felt, and I now do not feel guilty about it. I'm just about over not having an employer pay my wages, and that, I've got to do it. But I think what's great is I've realized I will get out the effort I put in. So if I want to make money, I've got to put that effort in. I've got to be the one to reach out and have one-to-ones, have networking, make those contacts, make those referrals, make people confident in me, communicate with people. And then it's so satisfying when you get something back from it. But you'll only get that. You get out what you put in. And I think that's what I've learned. And I know I'm putting in a lot into our family, and I feel I'm getting out of it. That's my financial reward from it.
You were saying that you were thinking you were going down the coaching route, and the voiceover was a hobby.
Yeah.
Then it turned itself on its head, and turns out that the voiceover was something that was going to generate you some cash. So, at that point, there's a lot of people listening that will, have got, in fact, I just had a meeting with someone who's turned her hobby of designing and making baby clothes into a business, and she's growing her business. So there are lots of people that go through that transition. Any advice for someone that's turning their hobby into a business? It's
the right thing to do, because you're passionate about it. The whole point is, if it's your hobby, it means you love doing it. You love doing it in your spare time. You love doing it when you don't have to work. So it's no longer work. I can't remember which famous person said, I've never worked a day in my life. Or there's a famous saying about, if you love what you do, it's not work. And I'd absolutely say that, because you want to put the effort in. You're willing to put the effort because you love what you do. I love going out finding clients for voiceover, because I love all the difference and the variety that voiceover brings. And I can't wait to see what their project's going to bring me. So I love doing it. So I want, I'm thirsty for it. I want to go out and find it. if you're doing something that you're not passionate about, you're just more reluctant. You're hesitant about it. You don't feel that investment in it. Whereas this is something that it's investing in your happiness, your fulfillment, your hobby, and your passions. It's wonderful if you can make a career out of them. It really is, because you will get so much out of it on every level, and it radiates out of you. People see that you enjoy what you're doing, and therefore they trust you more. And it's a snowball effect. It's a win-win for everyone, really, I feel. Yeah.
Because it's your hobby, it's something that you love doing in your spare time and in your own time. Did you find it difficult to make the boundaries there between work and maybe something that you love so much can take over a lot of your time?
Yeah, it could do. I think, look, my hobby is to do the Dram and to do that side of things and to go on the stage. So, of course, COVID has completely put that out of the window. I'm in the longest running rehearsed play ever. We started it before COVID, and we're finally getting to put it on the stage in April. So I've got to start getting rehearsing again. And I'm actually quite nervous. Will I be able to remember lines and all that sort of thing? So that's my real hobby, where the voiceover overlaps. I've been lucky. You can do it, and it's dangerous because I record at home. I work at home. My studio's here. Everything I do is based at home. But I think you just sort of, you set yourself times. You set yourself, right, this afternoon is when I'm going to do recording, and then tomorrow I'll use time researching. I'm lucky in the sense that with voiceover, you can only physically do it for a couple of hours maximum at a time. And then you've got to take a break. You've got to give your voice a break, or you just need to stretch your legs. So I'm all right about balancing it. I'm quite an organised person, and I still have, believe it or not, a little colourful timetable in front of me where I break up the week. This is my teaching days comes back. And I break up my day into everything I want to do, whether it's some exercise, whether it's I'm going to go and have a coffee with someone, whether it's a one-to-one, whether I'm recording. And I have it all in front of me, and I'm really trying hard to stick to that. And I like it. I can see, oh, yes, I said I was going to do this between these 2 hours. That's what I'm doing. And I do stick to it. It's good. Love a good timetable, something visual.
It's fantastic, because I use school timetables as an example with my clients to get them to structure their day, to spend time on their marketing, to spend time on their finances, to spend time on the research or the networking or whatever. So that's brilliant that you do that. That's
in fact, and if you pick a job that you hate as a business owner, like maybe it is invoicing, or maybe it is contacting people for referrals, whatever it is, if you've put it on a timetable visually in front of you, as opposed to just saying, I've got to get that done this week. If you put it there, like I've got tomorrow, I've got VO work, research meditation sites. Now it's something, because it's not pressing, I would put it off, and it doesn't actually happen. Because I've got it written there, and I've realized that I had actually allocated time for it, I will get it done. And I think it's so important. If you must timetable the jobs you really don't like, the jobs that you feel aren't that pressing, that you could get away with leaving for another couple of days. And I would really recommend anyone to find out what works for you. It could be you're a post-it note girl and you need them up on your screen. It could be making a timetable. It could be an audio note, one of an oral listening to notes you've made. But you need something to act as that little reminder on your shoulder to say, come on.
Do the jobs you don't want to do.
Oh, yeah.
We call them frogs. It comes from the book by Brian Tracy, Eat That Frog. Are you familiar with it?
I'm not familiar with the book.
If the worst thing you have to do today is to eat a live frog, do it first thing in the morning and get it out of the way.
No. Oh, okay.
Because you wouldn't want to do it, and you would put it off, and it's always there and always hanging over you. Yeah. So do it first thing in the morning and get it out of the way. If
I don't do my exercise slot at some point in the morning, it'll never happen, because by the afternoon I've found 3,000 excuses why I no longer got time to do it. So yeah, you're right. If there's something you're not particularly wanting to do, crack on and do it in the morning. Definitely.
Brilliant. Great time management tips there. I wrote down learn as you go. So you were talking about you've not done this before.
Yeah.
I guess it's about not knowing what you don't know until you get started.
Exactly. You can't predict what you don't know. And I think the greatest thing is to be humble about it and to say when something comes up. I was talking to a lady before Christmas and she said, yes, I'd really like you to do some audio description work. And I was sitting thinking, what's audio description? What does she actually mean? Because she's not talking about e-learning and she's not talking about explainer videos. And I said to her, I said, I'm really sorry. I said, audio description, what do you mean exactly? And she went, oh, you know, when you watch the television and you suddenly hear this voice that says, a man walks across the room and puts a book on the table. That's audio description. So it's for people who are visually impaired that can't see what's going on. And I love it. I love it when you get those learning moments. That's just a practical thing to do with my own voiceover industry. But just the same as when I had to learn when someone said, right, could you give me a quotation for what you're going to charge for that? And luckily I turned around to Tarek and said, you need to teach me about quotations. I said, how do I do this? Invoicing is, oh, well, I use Xero. And I'm like, no, this is all absolute alien to me. But it's brilliant. You just absorb it, learn from it. And I always think mistakes are incredible. Mistakes are brilliant and you need them. Because if you make a mistake, you can guarantee you'll learn from it. My only rule is don't make the exact same mistake twice.
Absolutely.
Bring the changes, but I think, learn as you go. You can't predict what's coming. It's pointless to try. You'll get yourself tied up in knots of stress, trying to think what might go wrong next week, what you might not be able to do. Just go with the flow and appreciate there are experts around you. Ask for advice, ask for help. I ask advice from other people in the industry. It takes a lot of confidence to ask someone else who's in your industry, I don't think I'm doing this right. Can you take a listen? Tell me what I'm doing wrong. Massive. But you're making someone else feel great. You're giving them feedback that you trust their opinion. So you've made someone else have a good day and they're helping you. So again, it's another win-win. It's really use each other, definitely.
So using your network then. So we met through a convoluted, someone in my network met your network and recommended that we talk to each other. But networking, what's the value of networking to your business? Oh my goodness. I actually calculated before Christmas, someone was asking how much of my business has come through networking. The one network I belong to at the moment is BNI, which is how we met. 65% of my business this year has directly come through people I've met at BNI referring me on. I had never networked before. I'd never had a one-to-one. I had never written a 60-second pitch before February. And I went in at the deep end. That was a real learning as you go. And it's absolutely invaluable to make that time to get to know people. Nobody wants cold calling today. Nobody wants to just look up in yellow pages. Well, they don't even probably have yellow pages anymore. Nobody wants to just look someone up and trust that. They want personal recommendations. They want someone's had an experience with that person or that they've got to know that person. That know, like, trust, whole building up. Networking's crucial. That's the way business is done today. It's who you know and how they can help you then because you trust them and you've got to know them and you will use them for your industry. It's invaluable and it's a massive part that you should, again, timetable into your week. It is part of your business. It's your business development. People might think a one-to-one is just a chat. It's not. It could be a crucial business link further down the line. I had a one-to-one with a guy, my first ever one-to-one last February. He contacted me at the end of November and said, Anna, I've got some work I was wondering if you could help me with. Hadn't heard from him for 10 months. But it was having that one-to-one, getting on really well with him. He remembered who I was. Then the occasion came up that he needed a voiceover artist and he came back to me. If I hadn't made that effort and if he hadn't made that effort to do that networking, that's one piece of work that wouldn't have come my way. And I'm a real advocate of networking and getting to know people and building relationships. It's huge. That kind of brings us round to, the communication piece and what you do, when you're helping when you bring the voice work and the coaching work and the NLP and that. What's your advice to someone who's just starting out and needs to communicate what they're doing and about their business? I think it's very helpful to rely on others, as in to get yourself not a mentor as in necessarily a paying mentor, but a buddy, someone who can
help you that's been on that journey. That does help. I think it's really important to know your strengths and to play on your strengths, but also recognize your weaknesses. If you are really scared about doing presentations, networking, reaching out to people, and you're worried that you don't come across well, often having a session with, if you like, someone like me, can often, I pick out things that you didn't even realize you were doing that are right, that are great. And I think mostly it's all about confidence with people. They don't think they're going to be able to network. They don't think they come across well at parties when they have to meet new people. Be surprised at what you can actually do. And sometimes it just takes someone else to point that out to you or to get you on the right path. But it's practice. I mean, when I started doing my pitches and things, I was so nervous. I still get nervous. Every single time I do a 60-second pitch, I get nervous. And I think that's healthy. And I think it's good. And it shows you that you care about what you do and that you want to come across well. But we get better at it. There's things I don't do now that I did then, and vice versa. It's practice. It's not to beat yourself up about it. We're learning every day. It's a marathon, not a sprint. We'll get there. But just not to be afraid to ask for advice, because everybody who's running their own business has been where you are now. And everybody can soon tap into those memories and remember what it was like and help you, and will offer some nuggets of advice and help that will get you through the current problem that you've got or challenge that you're facing.
Which, ties in networking and communication there. So absolutely, the people that you meet, not only providing you with custom, but also providing you with services and support that you need to grow your business as well. The Scale Her Up podcast, it's all about female entrepreneurs and pushing female entrepreneurs. What advice do you have for female entrepreneurs looking to start or scale up their businesses?
I think women underestimate themselves. I think we've got an awful lot of skills which a lot of men don't possess. That whole business about communication, we've got amazing skills. We have to communicate with so many different kinds of people in our lives as we grow up, whether it's as a mother, as a wife, as a daughter, as a friend. I mean, we're brilliant. Women have got some of the most amazing friendships and links together. We know how to talk to each other. We know how to listen. I mean, that's a massive skill. When you're setting up your business, you need to know how to listen as well as, how to talk. You've got 2 ears and 1 mouth, as we were always told. And so women have got amazing communication skills. We've also got great resilience and perseverance. Often we are amazing jugglers. On the whole, I'd say we're good at time management. I defy, there's not many women I know that don't have more than one role in their life, especially if you're thinking about a career change later on. So you're maybe 40, 35, 40 plus or whatever. The chances are you're fulfilling another role, whether it's as a partner, as a mum, even in friendships. We are really good at juggling and managing these things. And yes, we get overwhelmed sometimes. And yes, we get stressed. But we've also got really good coping strategies, I think, to do that. And if necessary, we rely on friends, and we're happier to ask for advice and help. I think we've obviously, historically, we've had to put up with prejudices and that women can't do that. There are some amazing role models out there now that have proved just that, of course, women can run their own companies very successfully and, make a really good go of it. So I think women have got a lot of untapped strengths and skills, and any woman wanting to start up her own business she really should do it. It's never too late. And I think we've got a lot of determination and guts and to make it stick at it. I think we're more likely to get through the hard times of a business with more resilience as well than men, simply because we're not going to give up on it. And so I certainly wouldn't feel that, things going badly, I'll just let it fold. I just couldn't do it. And I think we're good for it. Definitely.
Yeah. So you're listening, listeners. Yeah, just do it.
Just do it. If you've got a hobby you want to turn into your business, do it. If you're facing challenges, reach out and ask for help. It's everyone. It's a very supportive network. I think women in business are very supportive of each other. And there are loads of networking groups out there. I don't know if Athena is a national one, but certainly down in around Hampshire and Surrey, there's a networking group called Athena, which is purely for women in business. And there are, if you Googled it, you would find networking groups around you that are very supportive, nurturing, and can share experiences and stories and help you on your path. So it's just never think you're at it alone. You may be a sole trader or, a small business, but you're definitely not on your own. And there's a wealth of resources and support out there.
You're not alone. And because it can feel really lonely being in business for yourself. Yeah.
It can do. And like I said, you get times where you think, is it all worth it? It's not happening for me. And just talk to someone. You must have someone who's got your back, who's your champion. And maybe you just need to hear from them what you've actually achieved so far.
Yeah, absolutely. And remember to look back and see how far you've come.
Yeah, yes. that was amazing when I thought I haven't done very much. And then I looked back and I thought, oh, hang on a minute. I've learned this, I've learned this, I've learned this. And I've achieved that. And actually, I have got some clients and yes, you do need to look back over your shoulder and those tiny steps you take every day, tiny steps turn into thousands of miles. And it's worth patting yourself on the back every now and then.
So what are your ambitions for the future then? What are those? What's that destination thousands of miles on with these small steps?
Well, and my friend said to me, so my absolute ambition would be to be one of the voices on a Disney Pixar film. I would love, so my ambition is to, if you like, to make it to that, or to be the voice in the London Underground of Mind the Gap, which I'd love to change. So you've got to have an ambition, you've got to have an end of goal. So my friend would say, well, then why haven't you written to Disney Pixar yet then, Anna? Why haven't you done it? And I'm like, oh, because I'm not ready. I've got to get my more demos ready. And I'm not experienced enough. And she went, why are you stopping yourself? And I think half of me thinks she's right. And half of me thinks, no, I know preparation is key. But I would just say, so my ambition is to grow my business. I want to branch into more genre. There's so many genre for voiceover work. I've still got to break into radio. I would love to get into radio advertising and promotional work that way, because then I'd get to do more of my character voices and, things, which is where I love that, obviously. And I just love to get into filming, whether it's dubbing and that side of things. So I've got ambitions. It's to keep spreading the different kinds of projects I can do, which is exciting. But I always keep that Disney Pixar is still this carrot that's, in the future ahead. Never say never. You never know. So goals are key, definitely. On a weekly basis, you need your goal that, right, this week I'm going to sort out my CRM, or this week I'm going to make sure I've done that, or I'm going to send out 5 invoices, whatever it is. You need your weekly goals, as you as a coach know so well. You need a monthly or a 6-monthly goal, and then you've got your long-term ones too, definitely.
Oh, fantastic. I can't wait to watch that movie and listen to your beautiful voice.
I'll give you an invite to the premiere.
I'll be there, definitely. What do you think that we can do then to bring about this revolution, to get more women, to balance out the imbalance of women at the top of businesses? What do we need to do?
I think we need to keep supporting each other, keep encouraging each other to start up those businesses and to take those next steps and to be risk takers. I think maybe historically we've been frightened to take risks, frightened to make leaps and jumps. And I think we've got to realise that you've got to be in it to win it. You've got to be willing to take those chances and not be afraid of it. And yes, sometimes it fails, but as Thomas Edison, 10,000 failed attempts before he successfully produced the right light bulb that worked. It's failure's good. Failure is such a rich learning carpet to build from, and we can do it. And I think we just need to keep encouraging each other, keep promoting each other to others, and doing what you're doing, putting examples out there of women so that we can hear each other and support and to build each other up instead of, I've been really trying hard lately to, when I see someone, to giving them a compliment, whether it's like, well, you smell really nice today. Oh, I read your blog, or your 60-second pitch was fantastic. We need to vocalize praise and encouragement. Recognition is so huge. Everybody remembers at school what it was like to be given that gold star, or to be given that praise, or to win the cup, or when your teacher said, that's amazing, well done. We loved it. It feeds us up, that positivity. And we don't do it enough as adults. We're too busy being competitive or trying to get ahead that we don't realize there's enough space for everyone. But we really need to encourage each other. We need to find those positive moments and just make someone, be the reason someone smiles today, because if you do that, then you're giving them the positivity and the encouragement to take that risk. Maybe they feel a bit more confident and they think, right, I can do it. Yes, I'm going to. Build each other up. That's what I'd say.
Fantastic. Yes. Support each other, compliment each other, take risks.
Yes.
Beautiful. Yeah. No, thank you. Thank you, Anna. I learned a really good, valuable interviewing technique from a coach that has coached me. The last question I'm going to ask you is there anything I should have asked you that I didn't?
Oh, I love that question. Yeah, I remember that. What's been my biggest challenge? Because I'd say my biggest challenge, I think, as I said, was that it can be easy to give up or to get negative when things get a lull. So my biggest challenge, I would say, is mental attitude, that you've got to, come on, you can do this. You've got to have that positive mental attitude.
Mm-hmm.
That, as I was saying, it's a marathon, not a sprint. I've said that to myself so many times over the past year, that you don't expect quick wins, don't expect results tomorrow. It's longer. And keep that positive mental attitude. I go to bed every night and I say 3 positive things that have happened during the day. It was a habit I started about 18 months ago, and I'm proud to say I still do it. Now, some days it is harder than others.
Yes.
But even if, like yesterday, one of the positive things was, that dinner I made was really delicious. Yeah, that was a good dinner. Right. There's one positive thing. I had another positive thing, was I had a lovely conversation with someone in the morning. And then the third one was I'd done a recording session and I was really proud of what I'd done. I make myself say any 3 positive things, as small as you like, or as big. Some days it's obvious. And I think that whole finishing each day with a positive thought in your head, it starts you up the next day with the right attitude and the right get up and go. And I'd really recommend it to anyone out there who finds it hard and is feeling a bit negative. It's amazing how you drift off to sleep while you're trying to think of number 3 even. But at least you're drifting off to sleep trying to think of positive things.
Oh, I love that. That is brilliant. I will steal that. I'm going to be using that with my clients. Yes.
It's really effective.
Yeah, brilliant.
It's really effective.
Yeah. And I guess if you started that 18 months ago, then this is now January 2022. So 18 months ago, were lots of us going through quite a difficult time and needing those positive thoughts.
No, positive thoughts, as small or as big as you like I said. I mean, even my dad's been really poorly, and yesterday he had no temperature. So one of my positive thoughts was, Dad's had a stable low temperature all day today. Great. So, it's still valid. But they have to be, if possible, different thoughts every day. You're not allowed to say the same one every day, because that's a cop-out.
Yes. Well, it depends what the positive things are that are in your life. Those regular positives are the things that are
absolutely.
Those are the foundations that you're
and bank them on. The day when you can't think of anything else.
Anna, it's been fabulous to talk to you. Thank you so much for taking time to join me on the Scale Her Up podcast.
You've really helped me reflect on a lot of things, actually. It's been really great talking to you, because you've asked me things and made me consider things that I hadn't. So thank you. It's been really interesting.
Yeah, you've done so well in your journey, and I can't wait to hear where you get to. And keep in touch.
Yeah, I definitely will, Brenda.
Thanks for listening to Scale Her Up, the Female Entrepreneurs Show. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes, and please join our Facebook community at Scale Her Up. Please connect with me, Brenda Hector, on social media and drop me a message to let me know you're enjoying the podcasts, or even better, pop a wee review on iTunes. I'm going to finish by reminding you, only 1 in 3 UK entrepreneurs are female, and men are 5 times more likely to scale their business to over 1 million in turnover than women. If we started and scaled our businesses to the same extent as men, it would add 250 billion to the UK economy and provide millions of jobs. Ladies, you can do it, and we're going to make a massive difference.